Hello and welcome back to the Soulful of It podcast, where the cosmos meet the cards and the mundane becomes magical. I'm your guide, 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀, and in this episode, we'll cover the astrological transits and tarot for the second half of April 2025 with our return guest and gem of the island, Katie. Now let's fill your cup up until your soul full of it. Thank you, Katie, so much for joining us again to dive back into the magic of April.
Thanks for having me.
Yay. So we're only a couple weeks into the month, but how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I feel like, you know, the butterfly, how it has to be the caterpillar first in the cocoon and it's getting ready to burst and change into the butterfly. That's me right now. And I moved during the eclipse. And so in between worlds, in between houses, and I'm just ready for my new life, ready for the transformation, but we can't rush it. So
you want that goo to be gone so that you can become the butterfly.
Exactly.
And then spring to be sprung, which it has been sprung, but it is still kind of getting it going. We're still revving our engines. We're settling in. We're not out of Aries season yet, so everything still feels very fresh and new. Whereas in Taurus season, we start to kind of settle in, which we will be talking about, of course, in this episode. But before we get into the astrology, I would love if you wanted to give us an overview and share the cards that we pulled for the second half of April.
Aren't we going to have a drink first?
Yeah. Are you feeling thirsty or you need to be so full of it?
Always thirsty.
Always. Today we're both enjoying a seltzer.
Strawberry watermelon.
Mine is cranberry lime. All the time. All the time. I really love lime seltzers. Not pure lime. Sorry, I need to like edit what I just said. Something lime. Adjective. Like lime is
Lime by itself
being
is
described.
Where's the tequila if it's just lime?
Yeah, if I'm gonna have just lime, I'm gonna need some tequila.
But raspberry lime, or that's cranberry lime?
This one's cranberry lime, but like raspberry lime is the OG.
Lemon lime.
So good and refreshing.
So bubbly.
So with that intro behind us, now would be a great time for us to jump into the tarot, always on tap, speaking of beverages. What cards did we pull for the second half of April?
So the cards for the second part of April, for the root, we have the Seven of Pentacles. For the Thorns, we have the Knight of Wands. For the Wisdom in the center, the Rose, Strength card. And for the Sun, the Guidance above, we have the Empress. Let's break it down.
Woohoo!
Okay, for the root, we have the Seven of Pentacles. A man pauses from his work, gazing thoughtfully where seven pentacles grow. Very much the vibe of, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. Keep digging. This card asks for faith in long-term efforts. It's the energy of slow magic, the kind of success that builds over time with consistent nurturing. You've already invested energy into something, and now you're assessing the results. What's working and what isn't? Where is your time and energy best placed? Also, what needs pruning so my energy can flow freely? You may need to adjust your strategy, pull back, or double down. It's not about quitting. It's about realignment. This card is a reminder that not all growth is visible at first. Roots, which this is the root. Roots form before blossoms. Sometimes pausing is more powerful than pushing. Reflect on how far you've come, even if the finish line feels far away.
Ooh, pausing is more powerful than pushing. Amazing. Try to tell that to a pregnant woman though, right? Just kidding. I mean, actually, when you are giving birth, not that I know, okay? Haven't been there yet, not in this life. But sometimes you don't push and that helps it, apparently.
Sometimes the baby just shoots out.
Literally, slip and slide. If you're pregnant and you're listening to this, I hope it's that easy.
They had to cut me out. I was like, you're not taking me.
I may have had a more violent arrival too. I don't remember entirely. Well, I mean, at all. Let's be honest.
I was fashionably late, which is on brand for me.
Yeah, that is on brand. I was overcooked, I think is the way I would put it.
But I ended up being a Gemini instead of a Taurus. So, I mean, I love Taurus season, but I love my Gemini sparkle.
Is it fair to say that you're Taur-ish?
Sure.
Sure, Jan. Continue.
For the Thorns, we have the Knight of Wands. A fiery knight rides his horse, holding his wand, charging through the desert. The wand has little sprouts, representing inspiration wanting to come to life, and flames over his armor. Adventurous and untamed energy. He's a bad boy. Very much let's fucking go energy. You want to go for a joyride? You want to see some pyramids, baby? The Knight of Wands is all in. He's bold, magnetic, passionate, and full of charisma. Often shows up when you're on the verge of a creative leap, spontaneous journey, or a bold idea. On the flip side, he can represent impulsiveness or recklessness, starting something too quickly and lacking follow through, risking too much without a plan, or doing things for ego rather than purpose. The Knight of Wands is pure fire, exciting, magnetic, fearless, but the key isn't just to run fast, it's to run towards something real. I follow what lights me up with courage, not chaos. I move with passion and purpose.
Those are some really great affirmations for this particular card.
I see this card and I think eggplant emoji. Well, and the fire emoji, obviously.
Yeah. The Knight of Wands is so fiery, passionate, exciting, fresh, new. But you're right, with the impulsivity, something to keep our eyes on as we're moving through these next couple of weeks.
And while I was pondering it more, sometimes it makes me think of the devil energy a little bit, how, you know, certain passions might try to pull you away from like your highest timeline or the path that you're like, no, like this is my path. I have my 7 pentacles. I'm getting to the 10 of pentacles. And then the Knight of Wands is like, hey, let's go to these pyramids. And you're like, I have my goals at the 10 of pentacles. Do not distract me from my goals, you know? So finding the balance, because it's good to have that fire, but you got to ground.
You got to temper it a little bit as you're moving through. Very temperance, of course.
Yes. For the center, we have strength. A serene woman holds open the jaws of a lion, not by force, but by her calming presence. She wears a white gown and a flower crown, representing purity and natural beauty. The infinity symbol above her head represents her infinite potential and connection to the divine. The lion below her symbolizes the wildness within all of us. Her calm gaze shows control without dominance, but through love. It's about taming the wild within, the sacred integration of instinct and intention. This card appears when you're being asked to lead with the heart. Strength does not always have to be forceful or loud. Sometimes it's quiet, magnetic, and consistent. Strength is not only physical, it's also the power of presence, resilience, and deep inner alignment. When you live in integrity, your energy speaks louder than words.
Snaps.
A reminder that true control comes from calm, not chaos. Make time to prioritize self-love, boundaries, or nervous system regulation. Master your reactions and master your reality. This also makes me think of the Ace of Swords card from part 1 of the April astrology. You know the Sword and the Stone? How all the people tried to pull the sword and it wasn't the strongest person who ended up pulling the sword? It's a different energy, but how this woman tames the lion in a way that others cannot. And in that, strength comes in many forms.
Absolutely, King Arthur.
And for guidance, we have the Empress. The Empress sits on a throne in a flowing white gown covered with pomegranates, a symbol of fertility and sacred feminine power. A lush forest behind her and golden wheat at her feet. She wears a crown, another crown. This crown with 12 stars representing the cosmic cycles of astrology and divine feminine archetype. The Venus symbol rests at her side, showing her rulership over beauty, love, and what we value. She is mother, goddess, and muse. She always reminds us that pleasure is sacred. She invites you to embrace your soft power, intuitive wisdom, and tune into the frequency of receptive abundance. It's a reminder to slow down, soften, and receive. She doesn't force, she lets things magnetize to her. You don't need to produce in order to be valuable. The Empress says you are simply enough just by being. She asks you to reconnect with your body, your senses, and the earth. This is a great time for launching creative work, tending a business, or aligning with your soul purpose, a deep call to ground into your body. The Empress reminds us that we are all allowed to rest and receive. Abundance isn't earned, it's embodied. What would it look like to stop proving your worth and start honoring it?
Ooh, those are some really, really profound questions for us to be sitting with at the very start of this episode. Absolutely phenomenal descriptions as always, and entertaining, which I love. It's so important, I think, always to bring those visuals into this audio podcast for our listeners who are not maybe actively looking at their Smith Rider-Waite decks, or have totally different decks, or don't even own a deck yet and are just curious about tarot and astrology. And maybe this is your first time listening, or maybe it's not. Welcome back. Either way. But thank you so much for sharing all of that, Katie. It was really great. And there's so many things that you said that stood out to me. Abundance isn't earned, it's embodied. That in particular just feels like something I need to write on a sticky note and put somewhere to continually view as the month continues on in April. So thank you for that.
When I think when we had that Virgo eclipse back in the past, kind of stepping away from like, oh, I have to grind, I have to work, all the details, all the specifics. And it's like, embody the abundance. So it's interesting to see the progression as we move forward in the transits to where we are now.
Yeah, there's the dance between making things happen and letting things happen. And that's also very eclipse season coded as well. And of course, retrogrades, which feel very recent and relevant for this episode, as we were just talking about them in the part 1. I have a couple hot takes on these cards that I'd love to share. I think we are going to be welcoming our wild with the strength in the center of the rose. We're opening up to receptivity with the Empress as our sunshine and guide, which is again very Venusian energy as we're marinating in that recent retrograde. And we're being challenged to see everything that's unfolding post-eclipse season as a potential adventure, viewing rejections as redirections, and remembering that rainbows arrive after the rain as a point of view, being what serves us right now with the Knight of Wands present as our thorns to pay attention to. And we're starting to see the ROI, the return on our investment of our hard work, with the Seven of Pentacles. And that's inspiring us to keep going. Very Mars making its way out of Cancer soon, which feels like the perfect segue into what we're going to chat about first with the transits. Because on Thursday, April 17th, Mars re-enters Leo after its extended stay in Cancer.
Thank God.
For real. Finally. And so this is going to feel familiar, of course, because the Mars retrograde period did begin at 6 degrees Leo. And that was about a week into December, but it's still likely to bring a palpable shift in energy for us as the transits of personal planets like Mars are felt more directly in our day-to-day. And anything that came up for you when Mars first entered Leo, which was back on November 3rd, all the way up to its retrograde station on December 6th, might be coming up like a boomerang right now. But just because you felt this energy before doesn't mean your actions or reactions have to mirror the past. The whole point of these retrograde cycles is to review and release, to reimagine what's possible when we pull wisdom from all the lessons we've learned. So what lessons have you learned? What moves were you making in November and December last year, and were they in highest and best? Did they serve you, or did they not? How can you move through this energy with the courage of a Leo, which is very strength card? And the strength card is also about vulnerability. And Mars in Leo reminds us to be brave enough to be vulnerable. We are ready to dance and shake off this retrograde energy, keeping in mind that Mars will remain in its post-retrograde shadow period up until May 2nd. So pay attention to the Mars themes of the past that are showing up now in the present, and be open and receptive like the Empress.
And be soft to be strong.
Yes, soft to be strong like Marina and the Diamonds.
I always think of that. We've probably said that in the past, but it just sticks with me. The strength card, soft to be strong. I love Marina and the Diamonds.
She's so great. I mean, it's the intersection of love and fear, is it not?
True. Honestly, it's so good to process our emotions, but we've been marinating in this Mars and Cancer energy for so long. I honestly forgot what other Mars transits felt like. It's crazy because we had the eclipse in September and then the 2 eclipses in March. So it feels like the universe had us in a cosmic divine standstill, purposely slowing things down. Almost felt like a timeout from the universe to rethink our decisions.
Go to the corner.
Mars in Leo is here to fire us up. After months of holding it in, it's about stepping into our spotlight unapologetically. Hear me roar, hear me shine, take up space. Expect the best to happen, and it will. The world is your stage. The world is your oyster. This is a time where passion and creativity is reignited. Time for your big ideas to take center stage. And as a Leo rising, I'm so glad that Mars is in Leo.
Yeah, Mars in the first house transit feels pretty good, pretty energizing and exciting. And it's about you to a degree. Like the spotlight is on the moves that you're making. So make moves that you feel really great about.
Make money moves.
Make the money moves. Yes. Get that abundance up in here. Absolutely. So following Mars re-entering Leo on the weekend of Saturday, April 19th and Sunday, April 20th, we've got a lot of cool energy. We've got a lot of springy energy going on because the sun is going to enter Taurus just before Easter Sunday, which is also 420 and my dog's birthday.
Aww.
She'll be 3.
How cute.
Precious. And of course, this means that it's Taurus season, which is the perfect time to get grounded, whether that's through walks in the morning or meditating or steady and slow persistence, continually working towards those longer term goals. Seven of Pentacles energy. Something that stands out to me with this Taurus season this year is that Uranus is in Taurus still, but it's getting ready to move into Gemini in a couple months. And Uranus is the change maker, and it's been in that fixed earth sign Taurus, asking us what can we change in our material physical worlds that would bring about bigger and better expansive energy. It will take a few weeks for the sun to reach Uranus, so the 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀 is coming. And in the meantime, I think it can be helpful for us to ask ourselves what spring cleaning would serve us best. Thinking of this transit in this way makes me want to go back through my closet and make some more donations, weed my yard to plan for a garden, and habit stack some of my daily routines to include more micro habits that I know will bring me more grounding energy, like practicing affirmations and breath work, as I know that after Taurus season comes, of course, Gemini season. Gemini. So what do you think about this weekend, Katie?
Well, I like what you said about cleaning out your closet because items hold energy. And so, if you've had something for a while where maybe you've had bad experiences in it and maybe you don't realize, oh, when I put this on, for some reason, I maybe don't have a good day or I get sad and you might not realize. And so getting rid of things that just don't align with you anymore and old energy, it just brings in new energy and you can just wear the stuff that you align with more and that you feel more radiant in and just where you feel like you shine. And this is a time of increased focus on beauty and luxury, physical pleasures, indulgence with food, art, nature. Taurus season grounds us in the physical reality, while Aries season is fast, impulsive energy. Taurus asks us to slow down and smell the flowers. It's a time to ask yourself, what actually matters to me? And am I building a life around it? Taurus is a fixed sign, and she knows what she wants, and she is not settling for a mediocre life. We are not a side character, living your life like we are the main character. You're not a side dish. You're the whole damn meal.
Oh, yes. Yes. I love that description between Aries and Taurus because Aries is fast and friendly service. You're going to get it, but you're going to get it right away. And Taurus is, I came for the multi-plated experience. I want to taste 7 different dishes back to back, and I would really love to meet the chef while I'm at it if they happen to be around.
I know sometimes with Taurus, people could say, oh, they're bougie, or it's a vibe of, why are you doing too much? Like, why are you so dressed up? Or like, oh, you're so obsessed with your looks and your nice stuff. And it's like, well, why are you caring what I look like? Why aren't you dressed up? Your body is your temple. Your body is the altar. Like, why don't you care about tending to your garden, your altar, your pleasures? Like, life is meant to be experienced and to tune into the pleasures. Smell the flowers, have the bubble bath, like enjoy your life, even if it's like, this is my drink, this is my matcha, and this matcha brings me joy. And I love the feeling that I get when I have my matcha. It's like the simple things.
Yeah. It's like the saying, dress for the job that you want to have. How about dress for the life that you want to have? Dress for the energy that you want to embody, and not just dressing. Of course, it's just an easy way to describe it for Taurus in particular, because you're right, they can dress really well. And judgment can come up around that because people question, oh, you look so nice. Am I out of place now? Because for some reason that makes us question our own belonging. Like in the pack, it's very pack mentality. But there is something in that for us to take that feather out of their hat and realize it would look good on us too. And maybe there's something that we can do to embody some of that Tauresian energy that would bring about more fruits of our labor, bring about more of a harvest in our garden. Instead of questioning why someone's dressed so fancy, you can ask them where they got their stuff. And if you're talking to a Taurus, you can ask them when they got it, because I'll tell you what, they might spend a lot of money on something that's fancy, but they're going to have that shit for life. I mean, seriously, I can't tell you how many Taurus I'll be like, wow, that's amazing. Is that new? They're like, oh no, I've had this for 10 years. And I'm like, it's in pristine condition. What are you, also a Capricorn moon or something? Like, look at you taking care of your shit, making it last. And that's what Taurus is. And the Uranus energy of it is, you know, we're making changes, but what are the changes that we can make that we want to be long lasting? I think that's going to be an important thing for us to consider as we're moving through Taurus season this year. And speaking of Taurus and earth signs, we also have Earth Day on Tuesday, April 22nd. So shout out to Mother Nature. Thanks for spinning this bitch, keeping us alive. I like the fish. Can we keep them too? That would be cool.
Love you, Mother Gaia.
Yes, absolutely. So shout out to her. And following the beautiful day that is known as Earth Day, on Thursday, April 24th, Venus and Saturn will meet in the sky for the third time. Now, the first time was on the 21st of March, 321. And the last time was earlier this month, which we talked about in part 1, on the 7th of April. The recent Venus retrograde cycle has had a Saturn story unfolding in the background because of these connections with Saturn. It's the realization that true satisfaction lies at the intersection of pleasure and hard work. So how can we enjoy our work? How can we add more play to our everyday?
Play, and that's your word. Isn't that your word of the year?
Yes, it is. And it's also the realization that self-love and practice is also self-discipline. This is a great time to create a simple routine of care for yourself. And I say simple because that's the best way to ensure that you can and will be consistent with it. And consistency is compound interest on anything that you want to grow and flourish. It's a self-investment to redirect your attention from outside to inside, from without to within. Reflecting on the Venus retrograde period, what Saturnian restrictions or redirections came up? What was challenging in your relationships? Can you pause to imagine the reward that could be hiding in the hard work that you might be avoiding? There are many returns on investment available here, with consistency, structures, and boundaries, very Saturnian themes, but the cost is effort. As Brittany says, you better work, bitch.
You want a hot body? You want a Bugatti?
And this Saturn-Venus connection also wants to remind us that we're worth the effort, and we can and should enjoy ourselves while we are working.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
You put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
Actually, I'm done with the retrogrades reversing it. Let's go forward.
Yeah,
please.
let's go forward. Full speed ahead. Gas it, Knight of Wands. Gas it.
Pedal.
I mean, Brittany has a song called Gas too, so.
Gasoline.
That's right.
Well, Venus governs love, beauty, and money, while Saturn governs discipline, structure, and karma. The first conjunction in early April forced us to reflect. Now, we must put what we've learned into practice. Make a real decision about love, your creative path, or a financial commitment. Commit to what's real. Choose what's soul deep, not surface level. This is where we align heart and discipline. Fantasy ends and devotion begins. You can have your dream life, but we need to make a plan. Sometimes we might spend money or do things for the plot to spice things up in our life without thinking of the repercussions. But try to ask yourself, would future me appreciate this? This makes me think of the Seven of Pentacles versus the Knight of Wands. And like I said before, the Knight of Wands sometimes has devil energy flavor to it. Certain things might tempt us to stray from the plan.
Take me to the pyramids.
That takes us away from our goals, our highest timeline. And if you can't see the results yet, you might just want to say, fuck it, and give up and go back to your old life. But they say that your new life is going to cost you your old one. Love yourself enough to take the steps you need to get to the life you deserve.
Everything you said. Such wisdom for this transit. Venus conjunct Saturn, it's not going to keep happening. This is the third time. This is the finale. So this is the integration point for us to say, whoa, what happened on March 21st? What happened on or around April 7th? Like, what have been these tension points between the hard work and the heart work? Like, what can I do to integrate that? What can I do to bridge that gap? Because that is the wisdom of the Saturn Venus conjunction. And that's the background of the Venus retrograde, which we're past that, but we're not fully past that because we're still in that post retrograde shadow period. So we are still integrating.
Well, and they say things come in threes and third time's a charm.
I hope it will be for all of us. Following that third connection between the great malefic and the lesser benefic, on Sunday, April 27th, it's Slot Machine 77 back here again with the Taurus new moon. I say that because it's at 7 degrees and it's on Sunday, April 27th. So all the sevens have me thinking Slot Machine 77, let's go. It's at 12:31 p.m. Pacific time. And this is the first new moon following the eclipses. And it's in, of course, fixed earth sign Taurus. It's a soft landing, a loyal friend, a home-cooked meal, an opportunity to plant a new seed of possibility because we can manifest with this. It's not a volatile eclipse energy. This new moon also brings with it some tension for us to navigate, as the new moon is the focal point of a fixed T-square aspect with Mars, now back in Leo, and Pluto, who of course is in Aquarius now as well. While Mars isn't out of the post-retrograde shadow period yet, it is very close at this point, only 2 degrees away to be exact. And with all of this context in mind, I think we're going to be feeling a little uncomfortable with the growth that we're being called to step into. But as we've been saying throughout this episode, discomfort is the cost of the quantum leap. The eclipses have come and gone, and we're alchemizing them now. We all want the fruit of our labors, but if you're going to garden, you're going to have to be willing to get your hands dirty. We are readying to launch. The challenge of the Mars-Pluto T-square is an opportunity for breaking the mold through choosing courage over comfort, which feels a very strength card. There's this quote by Joseph Campbell, I'm sure many of you have heard, that says the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. I actually alluded to this earlier in the episode.
I love that.
It's so relevant for this particular new moon. And it is also very Seven of Pentacles. It may not be easy, but if we engage with this new moon intentionally, I do think that we're going to see some beautiful harvests come from it. I like this new moon a lot because it's a bit of an awakening alongside a safe haven moment, inviting us to remember that all we have is the present moment. So we should enjoy it. As you said earlier, let's do the Teresian thing. Let's stop and smell the roses. It is spring after all.
I love that. And I really love what you said about do something you haven't done before to get somewhere you've never been. Just like the saying, old ways won't open new doors.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me think of. And this new moon is a fresh start. Time to build something lasting. Commit to self-care. I think this would be a great day for a nervous system reset, cozy night in, getting your life together, light some candles, do some yoga, have a bubble bath, meditate, write some affirmations or spells. Choose slow magic over instant gratification and trust that what is rooted now will grow. Tune into your divine feminine, divine Empress self. What would the Empress spend her time doing on the new moon in Taurus?
Ooh, yeah, I can definitely see the Empress energy here with the Taurus new moon. And I think you're right that people are probably going to get more out of it having some alone time. This might not be a very social new moon for us.
Well, new moons are a time of a new seed is sprouting. And so if you have too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen with your seed or with the potion that whatever you're creating, or too many people in the garden, it's like, this is my garden. This is what I'm working on. Don't touch it. It's a new little seedling. It's mine, and I'm going to tend to it. And I don't need other energies trying to fuck it up.
Yeah, it's true. Things tend to grow when we're not messing with them, when we're just letting them do their thing and making sure that they're provided with the adequate resources that they need in order to grow and flourish. So how can you resource yourself with this new moon in Taurus?
I love that.
Me too. Moving us into our final transit of this episode, on Wednesday, April 30th, we have Venus re-entering Aries. Woo! And bringing with it a reminder of our personal power, a rekindling of passion, and an energetic boost to take action on prioritizing the people and places that spark joy for us. Venus was last in Aries on February 3rd to March 27th, so really recently, due to the retrograde cycle. And yet the retrograde cycle story is bigger than that when we consider that Venus entered the pre-retrograde shadow period way back on January 17th. So this story is still unfolding for all of us now in real time as Venus remains in the post-retrograde shadow period until May 25th. Venus's return to Aries lends support for us to start making moves to apply the knowledge gained from the lessons that we are still learning from the retrograde cycle. A couple questions to sit with to help us all alchemize this are, what are you willing to do, which is Aries, to acquire what you desire, which is Venus? And with Saturn in the mix, how hard are you willing to work, which is Saturn?
You better work, bitch.
For what you love, which is Venus. A Bugatti.
A Maserati.
A hot body. What do you think about this Venus re-entering Aries energy, Katie?
I love this energy. With Venus charging back into Aries, our desires become immediate and intense. Passions return, romantic confidence is high, and people take bold action in love. Go after what you want without apology. Speak your desires out loud and stop settling. For me, the switch from Pisces to Aries was with Venus and Pisces tuning into people, energy vampires, that were trying to access my divine light, my divine feminine energy, and feeling powerless. But then when Venus was in Aries, for me, the vibe switched to, oh, you want access to my energy? You want access to my light? You want access to my feminine side, my soft side? Well, what am I getting in return? For some people in my life, as well as people in general, I actually felt called to write energetic and spiritual contracts when it comes to the people interacting with me in the physical and energetic realm. It was a way of taking my power back, which I know I mentioned, I think, in part 1, but I wanted to talk about it again because I think that for me, after I wrote those energetic spiritual boundaries, I actually did feel like protected in the physical realm. And even if it's just something that's in your own mind, you have that filter as you're moving through your life. Like I was saying, like the transmuting, like anyone who's talking shit about me, it's going to make my money grow, or like I'm going to be more beautiful, or like, oh, if you want access to my energy, then are you going to pay me? Or are you going to give me mentorship? Or, you know, like whatever you would want out of that relationship, because it's not supposed to be one-sided.
How can we both be beneficiaries of this interaction, this energetic exchange?
Exactly. And speaking of Pisces, did you know that Benny Blanco and Justin Bieber are both Pisces? Like I said in one of these podcasts, I love watching people talk about celebrities' astrological placements. And I'll admit it, at first I was talking shit about Benny Blanco. I was like, why is Selena with him? But as I learned about him more, I realized how much emotional intelligence he has. For each sign, there's an evolved and unevolved version. And the fact that they both have dated Selena Gomez is really fascinating to see the comparison. I love her new music and seeing her shine. It reminds me that we need to feel safe in order for our feminine energy to flourish. If you have a Knight of Cups or Wands, it's an immature energy that you can't really count on. But if you have a King of Cups, because he's a Pisces, he can hold his emotions and yours. His social media is basically just a fan page for her, as it should be. Worship me or die. If there's any gentlemen listening, in a world full of Andrew Tates, be a Benny Blanco.
Oh, yes. Snaps to that. I try not to hate, but I have got some hate for the Tate losers and some unexpected love for the makeover that Benny has had in the media over the last year. I'm glad you brought this up because the algorithm has been feeding me the Benny and Selena content with their new album out now, and honestly, I've been eating it up. There were a couple of quotes I saw on the internet that felt relevant for Venus returning to Aries that I wanted to share in us talking about this. One of them is, you'll burn yourself out being the only source of light for someone else. And the other one is, magic happens when you stop shrinking to fit in spaces that you have outgrown. This is relevant, I think, because Selena has figured these things out. And it's refreshing to see her clearly doing so much better. She is thriving in her life since she chose herself and manifested an evolved Pisces energy who, unlike her old flame, has not lost the plot. Instead, he understands that Selena is the melody and he's her muse. She's become the center of his universe, and they are both thriving because of the beautiful receptivity, very Empress, and vulnerability, very strength, which is present between the two of them. Talk about a glow up. We've always known that Selena is golden, but I have to admit, I also thought that Benny was like a bridge troll when I first heard that they were together, but it turns out he's a short king who knows how to treat a queen, and I am totally here for it.
And he's not afraid to be in his feminine energy. Have you seen all his pedicures?
No.
He gets wild pedicures. There's like, I think he got one of like, like the boho rugs. He's gotten all different kinds. And I was like, how did this land on my FYP? Like, what the hell? I need to get a pedicure, honestly, though. Self-care, Empress. Like,
do it for that Taurus new moon if you don't do it sooner, girl. Do the thing that's gonna, every time you look at it, when you look at your toes, you'll be reminded like, yeah, I took care of myself. I can take care of myself today too. Oh yeah. Okay. I can keep doing that. I can keep up with this energy. Wow. I'm worth it. This feels good.
I don't even know how many years it's been that I've gotten my nails done, and I'm going to continue to do it because every time I look at them, they make me happy. They make me feel polished and put together, and they just make me feel good. And so, other people, might judge, but it's like, just do what makes you happy. Do what makes you feel like the best version of yourself.
Yes. And with all this conversation around Venus coming up, it's also, what are you spending your money on that actually lights you up, lifts you up, makes you feel good, supported, Tauresian energy of being resourced, getting your nails done. If you're Benny and you want to get your toes done, cool. Like, awesome. You go boy, you go girl, you go they, you do whatever it is that makes you feel good in your body.
Go off, king. Go off, queen. Slay.
Slay all day. Oh, you got to bring up slay, of course, because you're Santa.
Slay. No, slay with the Justice sword and the Ace of Swords. Slay, slay.
I'm just hearing the
Well, that's because you're a Sagittarius, so that you would think of slays.
Just trying to be holly and jolly over here. What can I say? If you've got a fireplace, I have got a stocking.
I have a fireplace.
In your new place, it's looking good. I think you're going to have a lot of growth in that new place because it gets so much light with all those windows.
I love it. My new life.
That's right. Come out of that cocoon, girl. Be that butterfly. In the next episode, I'm sure we will be seeing you spread your wings a little bit more and fly right into Gemini season, which, hold on, we just got into Taurus season, so we won't jump ahead too far. But this is a good place for us to end the episode. Thank you, Katie, so much for joining us again, as always. And if you enjoyed this episode, please remember to go give us a 5-star rating.
5-star rating everywhere.
And leave us a review.
How much you love listening to us.
Yeah, on the Apple Podcast app in particular, that's where they seem to matter the most. And we really appreciate it. And you, as always. So thank you for taking some time out of your day to listen to this episode. We hope that the whole month of April is abundant and beautiful and fruitful beyond all imagination for you.
Thanks for listening.
We'll catch you in the next episode.
It's gonna it's gonna be me.